Welcome back, sports fans. Part 3. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back. So, this part 3, golf. So, I'll start this one. We just had the US PGA Championship, and my main man, Brooks Keopka, won it. We didn't do a podcast last week, which was a shame, but if we had done, and I did say on the WhatsApp group, I did fancy it to be a bit wing-footy, so I did fancy the likes of, you can say I'm lying or I'm telling the truth, but I did fancy my 3 live guys. I said I liked Keopka, Johnson and DeChambeau because it was a long course.
But you've bet on everyone but those guys.
I did not bet on any of those 3, unfortunately. No, but I did bet on Victor Hovland, who tickled my balls for 4 days and then bottled it. I did get second spot for him, and my Cameron Smith, he ended up 9th, but obviously was never in the run-in because he got his 65
did he
on the
finish
last
that?
day.
Did he? Okay, I was about to say.
Finished 9th. He got 65 on the last day, made the top 10. So Liv ended up with 4 inside the top 10.
Those dirty
which
scumbags,
was obviously
the best result for them.
Good for Liv and bad for the PGA, but I mean, we've spoken about it in the past. I think the way Liv's set up at the moment with the breaks before majors and the major setup courses, I think it does help these guys to be prepared better for the majors than some of the likes of Rahm and Scheffler and Rory, who look burnt out and having to play too many stupid little tournaments just before it.
No, man, those guys don't have to play the tournaments they don't want to, right?
But I think the PGA's kind of making them play a minimum.
They'll play the big ones and they'll dictate what that's going to be. The Mickelson,
but I mean, the proofs that they're putting so far that's 2 majors this year and 2 really good showings from the live guys, right? But we'll see if that continues or if they do start to fade over the years. But it certainly worked in Liv's favour the last. But
it looks like he's got over his injuries anyway, and that I mean, he's even
Brooks
admitted that playing a key part in his decision to go to Liv because he thought he wasn't sure that he was ever going to be able to handle the big stuff again. It's
the steal of the century with him because if he was fit, he wouldn't have joined, right? Yeah. They got him when he was down in the dumps, which was a real steal. But I think he's questioned it a few times, maybe going back. But I think he actually sees now that it is working for him, having those high competition tournaments with the best for high prize money, high stakes, and high pin, like tough pins every week at Liv or every few weeks at Liv, having the rest and then playing the majors. So I think it works well for him and good luck to him and well done. But Michael Block was the star of the show, PGA Pro. Yeah, the hole-in-one was just like fairy tale stuff. Like that was, see when that went in, I was like, there's no way he's just done that.
He's just been offered $50,000 for that golf club, that 9-iron. Or
really?
7-iron, whatever. Yeah, I mean,
I'm pretty sure he'll do it because he's a golf pro.
But obviously, $50,000 is probably a year's mortgage.
Take $50,000 for that. He got nearly $300,000 for coming where he came in the tournament, and he's been
invited to two tournaments, to Charles Schwab,
2 new tournaments, and he gets back into the PGA next year. So there's plenty of chances to make more money, and he's been on a few podcasts and stuff. So I'm sure that nearly $300,000 will become $1 million by the time it's all done.
I mean, you can see his club. He's got the old weight tape. I haven't seen that for ages, just giving people to seem to get their clubs modified and spec'd up to the max, where back in the day it used to be like you probably need a bit more weight, and they throw that sort of weight tape here, which looks like steel basically, and you just stick it on, sort of just gives the club a bit more weight. He's got those old bad boys, so it's not nice to see some of the old school equipment still out there in existence.
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed by his short game. His driving and his long irons were way off what a pro should be doing, but he's not a pro, and he's quite old now as well. But he's chipping, and he's from 100 out, he's putting. It was insanely good, and that's obviously someone that you can tell obviously has the mechanics because he's a teacher, right?
But did you hear what he said about his driving? He said if he had Rory's driving, he'd be a top 20 player. Because he just said short game. He says world class. He said
it's difficult if I could hit it. Argue based. I've only seen him once, but based on what I saw, that the only weakness was his driving was way further back than the pros. But everything else, I'm not going to say it could be top 20 because there's so many good golfers. But
it's a big shout. But he obviously backs himself in terms of his game.
Yeah, but like I said, I was really that up and down at the 18th to get into the top 15. That's life changing. And
mate, I thought
he didn't know, but he would have known. But he said he didn't know how important it was. Like that he needed to get an up and down to get in the top 15. But That chip and then that.
He may not have been thinking about it, mate. You just don't know what his brain was going through. But he obviously knows each shot is potentially, another tournament invite or another major potentially. But I mean, where he finished on that second shot down there, you go, he's going to finish with a double drop. And then he makes it up and down. It's like, fucking mate, it's quite a capping off a weekend, that is, isn't
amazing. It? Yeah, he was definitely the star of the show, and I think even Brooks Koepka would probably admit that, and he'll be happy to take the trophy and walk away with the cash. But
Koepka said to me, I heard you buying the beers.
Yeah, because he got a whole
cheeky bastard.
So that was good. That was a good tournament. Let's just talk about the top 3 players in the world who streets ahead everyone else in the PGA at the moment, which is Rahm, Scheffler and Rory. Scheffler was there or thereabouts. He just had a stinky...
Round 3 was terrible, wasn't it?
Stinky round 3, which killed him.
He played great round 4.
Yeah, and he played great round 1 and 2. He just had a real bad round 3. But Scheffler was still streets ahead of Rory and Rahm, who Rahm absolutely lost it day one.
Just had a bad one. Yeah, you can't really sort of point the finger at him given what a player he is. He's still number 1. Maybe Scheffler's overtaken him potentially.
I think Scheffler might be back on number 1 now, but like I said, the 3 of them are split in Nat's hair, so there's not a lot in it. But they're the 3 best in the PGA, but I think that none of them, well, Scheffler challenged, he was there or thereabouts most of it. The other 2 weren't really there. But Rory again...
Hovland always just seems to fall short, almost like a Rory kind of Hovland, isn't he, where he always seems to just be that shot or 2 shy. I mean, did you see that 16th where the day before Corey Connors is joint in the lead with Koepka, I think, or it might have been Scheffler. 16, he then literally hits it's either a 9, I think it was a 9-iron, and he literally thins it into the heel of the bunker, straight into the face of the bunker, has to get a drop out. Very next day, Hovland does the same thing. It's like, how outrageous
Connors
is
did
that?
it round 3, Hovland did it round 2. The Hovland one killed me because I had obviously money on Hovland to win, and he's 2 shots behind getting into that, right? I was 1 shot behind actually getting into that. But then obviously Brooks Koepka has the best birdie ever on that same hole, and he doubles and it's a 4-shot lead. But it ended up 2. I mean, he got it back. He got 2 shots back. So if he doesn't go in that bunker, it's a playoff. You know what I mean? If he pars that hole, it's a playoff. Right? I'd fancy Brooks kind of playoff, but
he was probably just taking it easy, Koepka, knowing he had the shots in the bag.
These are the mistakes. But if you want to win a major as a kid and a young player, you want to win a major, you'll learn for that. But
it's like the Bermuda Triangle. For one player to do that, hit a shot like that, it's just weird. And then for 2 players to do that same bunker, to literally hit it straight in exactly the same thing. It's like,
well, I mean, if I was Corey Connors, I'd be just upset. But if I was Victor Hovland, I'd be angry because if I've seen Corey Connors do that day before, I'm making sure I don't do the same thing. You know what I mean? But
just strange, mate. Anyway. 2 world-class players. I mean, Connors always has a couple of good days and then a couple of bad days. But
Connors is actually the number 1 iron player on the PGA Tour. He just can't putt. For the last 5 years,
hits him close, but can't putt.
He's the best ball striker in the PGA. But his problem
better
is
than
he's like, on stats over the last 5 years, he's the number 1 ball striker on the PGA Tour, but he can't putt. So he's similar to Hovland can putt, but Hovland's chippings always let him down.
Yeah.
But they're both amazing ball strikers.
And his fashion sense has also let him down.
I do like Hovland's fashion sense. I think it's always quite funny.
The Europeans, I mean, the Stenson, I think, had some outrageous clothes. There's always a couple of the Scandos, always like a couple of the Lycra, the big sort of glow-in-the-dark type colours, don't they?
I think if you've seen that Netflix thing, you saw Colin Morikawa's getting asked to wear this and this, and he just says no to everything. He says I don't fancy it.
He just
whereas you can just tell Victor Hovland would just go, yep, just send them out, I'll put them on. You know what I mean?
Because the guy said he was going down to a tee box, and the guy said, I don't know if he's a journalist or something, sort of said something along the lines of golf fans shouldn't be criticising on your fashion sense, type thing. Just basically trying to say, give him a little bit of compliments type thing, because I think he was getting a bit of stick, but he was like, yeah, man, it's all good. I couldn't give a shit. So he's he doesn't really care.
I think once he wins one major, you'll start seeing him getting a couple, because he'll get over the winner's circle. Yeah. But he's got a very good attitude, which is why he'll keep coming back and back and back, because he doesn't let it haunt him. You've got to forget about your mistakes, learn from them, but you can't let them haunt you. Like, you remember Thomas Bjorn had like 3 or 4 in the bunker when he was winning the British Open, and he was never the same player. It haunted him, and he just never got over it. It was at Sandwich, and he lost. I think he had a 3 or 4 shot lead, and he blew it all in the bunker and came second or third, and he never got over it. And some players don't. I think that guy Mito Pereira last year, he's not been the same player since. He went to Live, so you don't see him as much, but he completely choked, and a lot of golfers go, that's my one chance to win a major. But I think Victor knows there'll be more than one chance for him.
Yeah, agreed. Well, what we'll do, mate, next time is hopefully we'll have a poddy when we're all fit and healthy in the lead up to the next major, which is the British Open, is it? Or
US
is it the US?
Open next.
US Open, yeah. And we'll put our predictions and our shoeies on the line for the next one.
Yeah. Well,
Perfect.
like I said, unfortunately we never got to do one last week, but I was pretty close with the ones I said. So I feel like I've got golf going down pat at the moment.
I had Schauffele, Xander Schauffele, that is. Xander Schauffele had his mate Cantlay. Won it Cantlay. But he was rubbish, I think. And did I pick anyone else?
There's a rumour that it takes Cantley 2 hours to watch 60 minutes.
Kevin Na would be 3 hours then.
Cantley
he's fucking shocking,
player.
mate. Yeah, he's shocking. I was just hoping that maybe with Joe Tiger's caddy on the bag that he was going to maybe just kick him up the arse a little bit and get him over the line, but I didn't really see much of either.
I think he's too robotic for that kind of stuff. Like, he's just the way he is. But I actually thought he'd have won a major by now, but
he's got the game for it. I'm sure he will.
Definitely.
All right, mate.
That concludes golf.
Perfect.